Alright, we've got a great fight here. Seungwoo Choi versus Julian Erosa. So Erosa, he's frequently switching his stance, always giving you different looks. He likes to be on the front foot. He likes to pressure his opponents pretty heavily. Seungwoo Choi likes to fight off the front foot as well. He's not a huge pressure fighter like Erosa is, but, both these guys don't like taking a backward step. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes the backward step first. And for, how these guys strike and, what they generally look for. For Seungwoo Choi, it's more fundamental boxing. I think it's quite fundamental. Fundamental boxing combinations, 1-2-3, 2-3s. I feel like a good jab, just a nice snapping jab, would do his game wonders because sometimes he will just lead with the two and, whiff by miles. But I feel like a good jab could get him into range and really set up that right hand of his because it does have a bit of pop behind it. And he does have a nice straight right, very long for the division as well. So I think a good jab could just elevate his game to the next level. And for Erosa, as I said, like different type of punching style. He wings his punches from the hips. He's got long ass arms, that helps a lot. But he's matched in reach in this fight with Seungwoo Choi, and usually that's not the case. But yeah, those long arms, those punches come from weird angles, unusual angles from he'll start winging uppercuts, start going left hook, right hook, just unusual combinations as well. But everything is basically looping, while Seungwoo Choi is trying to just be a sniper and just throw everything down the pipe for the most part, unless he finishes a combination with a left hook. But that's his hooks are tighter than Erosa's, so if they both throw a punch at the same time, Choi's going to get there first. But Erosa's that guy that just won't go away. He's got his hands low. He likes to stay in the pocket with his hands low, using head movement to evade strikes, which isn't really advisable, but he makes it work. He's a volume fighter, he's a pressure fighter. He likes to, slip the punch and then come back with a combination. Generally is out-voluming his opponent. But yeah, Seungwoo Choi, he's good kicks as well at distance. Nice high kick against southpaws, nice push kick to the body, nice front kick up top. That's how he mixes it up there. But I feel like the push kick's going to be on in this one because Julian Erosa, he's always coming forward, you know where he's going to step next. So if he can meet him with a push kick, push him back, get to the distance that he likes, I feel like he can keep the distance here against Erosa. But for Choi, his head's always on the center line. So Erosa is going to be throwing these hooks. He's going to be landing a few shots. Like, he's going to be finding that head because Choi doesn't move his head too much. And Erosa is going to be throwing crazy volume. Some of those shots are going to get through. And he's going to be landing a lot on Choi, I feel. But, yeah, it is what it is. Both these guys mix in the wrestling a bit. I'd say mostly Erosa looks to do it. Be proactive with his wrestling. He likes the body lock takedowns. He's got a fairly underrated submission game, in my opinion. He's dangerous from all type of grappling positions, grappling exchanges. He's got a nice Darce grip when the opponent's on all fours, as we saw with the finish that he hit on Sean Woodson. But yeah, Seungwoo Choi, he's a competent grappler as well. He's got strong hips when he's defending the takedowns. He looks for trips in the clinch of his own, inside, outside leg trips, just whatever he wants. When he's defending takedowns, and I think he got Gavin Tucker with one of those trips as well. So he's pretty good in the clinch with his trips. But I feel like he does engage in grappling situations when he really shouldn't. When he really should try and keep it standing. Engaged in the grappling exchanges with Evloev and Gavin Tucker when he probably should have tried keeping it at distance and try and touch him up from distance. But he allows his opponents to control him a little bit too easily against the fence, and just his fence clinch escapes need a little bit of work. But he's pretty hard to hold down. He will give his back to get up, but he's pretty hard to hold on the mat. How these guys win fights? So for Choi, he's got good cardio, and for Julian Erosa, he's got good volume, as we talked about before, and he's very experienced. He's had 34 fights in his career. And that experience played a huge factor in that Sean Woodson win. He knew he was down the scorecards. He knew he had to pressure hard. He knew he had to make something happen, and he did. He made it happen. How these guys lose fights? So for Juicy J, his strike and defense isn't great. It's very dangerous with how he likes to fight. He likes to fight in the pocket. He's very kill or be killed type of guy, and just the strike and defense that he employs, it's very dangerous with the type of fights that he likes to get into. But also, yeah, he's just had his bell rung a few times just because his strike and defense, very porous. For Seungwoo Choi, he seems to have poor takedown defense on the single leg. It's improving. It's improving every fight. Obviously, he had two phenomenal grapplers with Gavin Tucker and Movsar Evloev, but his balance didn't look great on the single leg, and he has been taken down a few times on the regional scene with the single leg as well. But it's just the grappling tendencies, which we discussed before too. Path to victory for these two. For Juicy J, take the front foot. Watch out for the left hook after the right straight of Seungwoo Choi, because that's generally what he likes to follow up the right straight with, is the left hook, so watch out for that. But yeah, volume and pressure, that's the name of the game. You know, mix in takedown attempts as well, but yeah, volume and pressure, that's the path to victory for you, really. And for Seungwoo Choi, look to get him on the back foot. You know, take the front foot yourself, take the initiative there. Pop the jab out. I know, as I said before, he doesn't really throw them, but I feel like it would be a good weapon against Julian Erosa. And also just look to sit down on your punches. Look to, you know, really put a lot of, you know, sit down on your two. You know, I feel like you have a lot of pop behind him, and just the way Juicy J defends strikes and the chin that he's shown in his career, I feel like you could put him out just if you really sit down to your punches here. Also just kicks to the body, push kicks, leg kicks, you know, mix up the targets. Make him think about something else, because if you're just head hunting, he's going to look like Muhammad Ali with his head movement. But if you start mixing it up, he's going to start, you know, overthinking a strike and defense, and he might open up the head. You know, he might forget about the head movement, start defending the body, and then, you know, you've really got him trapped there. But also mix in takedowns as well for Seungwoo Choi. How I see this fight playing out? So, you know, Juicy J, love the guy, super entertaining fighter, always brings it. But the way he defends from strikes is very, very dangerous. And neither of these guys like giving an inch. So I think they're going to just meet in the middle of the octagon and just start trading from the get-go. I don't think neither of these guys like taking a back foot to another striker. You know, when it's a grappler, they'll take the back foot, start focusing on takedown defense. But when they face another striker, they do not like taking a backward step at all. So my gut feeling is that, you know, Choi just KOs Erosa if they start exchanging in the middle. But, you know, yeah, as the fight goes along, Erosa generally does get better. He absolutely could outpoint him if the fight does go long, after he starts getting loose in there, letting his hands go. But both these guys are very well conditioned, but Erosa's volume, you know, it's much better than Choi's. So I feel like Choi, if he upped the volume up, he could absolutely keep himself in the fight. But Erosa just throws a lot of volume. But I do think the damage is going to be piling up on Erosa. I think he's going to be getting hit quite a bit. I think Choi is going to be on the front foot in this fight. I think his superior ability to eat punches will allow him to do that. I think he's going to be landing his combinations and his kicks early. I think he either finishes him early or just nullifies the volume of Erosa with the damage that he's inflicted, you know, throughout the fight. So I think, you know, Erosa's going to have the volume, Choi's going to have the damage. I also feel like Choi is a very competent grappler as well. He just ran into two scrambling beasts against Evloev and Tucker. I would give the grappling edge to Erosa though, you know, but I feel like he's just going to bang. I feel like he's just going to stand and bang in this fight. And I feel like he's going to walk into a short straight right from Choi, and that just completely deads him. So that's how I see the fight. Let's have a look at the betting lines. So yeah, as I said before, I've got Choi by KO in round 1. I think I favour him around 60 to 65% of the time, and just a lot of that is weighted in the chin advantage that I believe Choi has. But yeah, some bets I was looking at was Choi if he's $1.70, anything above $1.70 or minus $1.45, which he is at the moment. I got him at $1.80, so I'm pretty happy with that. Choi KO with $3.60 or plus 260. But also, if you want to hedge against an Erosa finish, you know, he's been to the cards 3 times in his last 16 fights, so generally doesn't go the distance. And if fight goes the distance is around $1.70 or minus 145, I'd hit that. But yeah, I am expecting them to bang, but I don't really like betting ends inside the distance. You know, it's very sweaty. It's a very sweaty prop to bet. But if that was $1.70, so that's why I've got a bit of an edge. I'm guessing it's going to be like $1.50 or minus 200, but if it's $1.70, I'll probably put a bid on it, because yeah, I'm not a huge prop guy. I'm not a huge unders guy, not a huge inside the distance guy. But yeah, I think I don't think this one goes the distance at all.